Despite being seemingly unknown, Barro is a game with over 200,000 total players, resulting in 7 sequels being released throughout 5 years, all of which are almost the exact same copy-paste game. There's barely any information about this franchise outside of Steam, so let's change that. We'll check out the games, the dev behind it, its real purpose, and the reason why 85% of players recommend it. Starting off with the first Barro from 2018, and immediately, the game completely ignores two of the most basic principles in racing games. You never slow down. The cars are painfully slow but extremely grippy, so this is basically a drag race. No, not even that, this is called cruising. Even if you crash, the car gets back to top speed in half a second. There is zero challenge coming from the game mechanics, and the AI is effortlessly defeated too. Even if you lose, the game gives you the winning achievement anyways, so we're having Big Rick's flashbacks already, and it gets worse. There are 4 cars, but they all have the same stats. There are 23 tracks, but they're all using the same track pieces, just in a different combination. Zero variety, combined with non-existent game mechanics, means there's little reason to look at the game screen at all, cause all you're doing is holding W and pressing an arrow key from time to time. Ring any bells yet? The game lets you set up to a 1000 lap race, but you can't go below 3. And aside from a few generic weather effects, there's absolutely nothing else to say about the campaign. It's just plain boring. I've played hundreds of shovelware, and this is already into my top 10 list of worst racing games. But let's see how much the series improved in Barro 2020. It's the exact same game. You can literally save your settings in one Barro game and it will carry over another Barro. There are 9 new tracks in Barro 20, and by new I mean it's using the exact same props just in a different order. The AI also has more speed, and there's 7 of them now as opposed to 3. That's literally all that changed in 1.5 years. 3 months after that, Barro F was released. Surely a game with the fun cars would at least be faster. Well, barely. It's mostly the increased field of view that is giving you a false sense of speed. We have 2 additional opponents, otherwise, this game is somehow even worse than the previous 2. Not only the handling is now unresponsive, but the new tracks are all flat and even more repetitive. It's a rare skill to be able to make garbage and only make it worse over time. Turn 10, hire this guy. 6 months later, we got Barro Racing, with the main improvement being that most of the copy-paste content is now spread across 5 DLCs, but that's only the single player. Every Barro game features a time attack mode with online leaderboards, and all you have to do for a top time is stay on the inside of the track to travel the shortest distance possible. To submit times, you can choose any country you want. Wish I could do that in real life? Well, I can on the internet with today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark has servers available in over 100 locations, allowing you to virtually place your device anywhere in the world. This means you can access region-locked or censored content, change servers in online games, and get deals that are exclusive to certain countries. Surfshark VPN masks your IP address and encrypts your internet traffic, making your data harder to steal for hackers, advertisers, and anyone putting your Xbox gamertag into an IP grabber. In addition, Surfshark does not keep any logs, so not even your internet provider will be able to look through your browsing history. Surfshark also comes with additional security and ad blocking features, and you can use it on as many devices as you want with one subscription. Sign up now using my discount code and get an extra 4 months for free, and if you're not satisfied, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Just click the link in description to unlock the full potential of your internet with Surfshark VPN. Anyways, there's so little depth you can run laps with exactly the same times. Still, it's much better than getting trolled by buggy collision physics in the game's local multiplayer mode. A year later, we got Barro 22. For some reason, we're now racing 6 utility vehicles, and by now, you'd expect the tracks to be another random combination of the same props, but it's even worse. The dev copied the exact same tracks from the first Barro game and only added 2 new ones. But here comes Barro F22, where we get to race on low-poly ripoffs of real-life tracks, as if we didn't have enough racing games with burgering in them already. The dev also felt the need to slap his shitty logo on every billboard. He must have been really proud to have finally added new content to his game after 4 years, but no, these are all pre-made tracks from the Unity Assets store. The only new addition to this game is the boost function, which makes you go from snail pace to turtle pace. Not even a month later comes Barro GT. And big surprise, it's the exact same game as F22 with different car models. Same goes for T23 that released a year later, though with slightly different car stats. And that was the Barro franchise. The games are bad on their own, but they get much worse when you look at their development. Well, it doesn't exist. What if I told you the developer of Barro, jogos, didn't even make the games himself? What if I told you that anyone with little to no experience can easily make a Barro game? Well, it's true. Everything from Barro originates from this asset pack, the minicar race creator. Not this song again. This asset is all you need to make a Barro game. Seriously, you don't even have to code. Everything is already taken care of. Regarding Barro, the game still receives updates from time to time, but they rarely add anything new. To put it into perspective, here's a major update which added 2 brand new volume sliders. This is what 6 years of development looks like.
From the ground up.
The updates mostly include UI and camera additions, and also an option that fixes unresponsive steering by making it twitchy as hell. There was even an update that added random item drops similar to the scam NFT games that have been popping up recently. The dev also accepts donations through these items in order to upkeep the leaderboard servers. Except those leaderboards are entirely handled by Steam. The game doesn't even connect to the internet when loading these leaderboards, and who'd wanna support this waste of storage space anyways? The developer's bad intentions become more clear when we take a look at his past. He used to have a website, but nowadays, the only available information about him is on Steam. His first project was a 2D stealth game released in 2016. That looks familiar.
This is a game that 10 years ago would have been on new ground.
Another quick search later, and we have the exact same asset he used for the stealth games as well. This guy's been flipping assets for 8 years now. He's also released a survival game, and guess what? It looks strikingly similar to a survival game template that is no longer available. He's had 2 other tower defense games that I couldn't pinpoint the asset for, but I think we can make an educated guess based on his history. I found no ways to contact the dev directly, but he's quite active in his game's community section and has already tried to cover his ass by saying he only used the art from the assets pack. Yeah, no. You can find 3 identical games just by searching minicar on Steam, and there are plenty more. The original developer of the asset has recently made another racing game creator, so expect copies of those to flood the market as well. But if the game is so bad, why do so many people buy it? That gets us to Steam's trading cards. These are items you can earn by simply keeping the game open. But unlike regular items that can only be sold or traded, cards can also be turned into badges to level up your Steam account, which in turn unlocks various perks and customization. So yeah, the whole purpose of this game is to pimp out your profile. You buy it, idle for 2 hours without even playing, and then refund the game. This way, you can earn trading cards for free. This is why 85% of players didn't even play the first level, and there are sometimes thousands of accounts idling the game at once. These are all card farming bots run by Steam account level up services, and these services exist because there are lots of people willing to pay real money for internet status. These bots essentially generate free money out of thin air. Not only you can directly sell your cards to level up services, but also on Steam's own marketplace for wallet funds. Even though there is a cooldown on refunds, you can still make a few dollars per account using this method. Only high-selling games get access to the trading cards feature, but that hasn't stopped established devs from spamming games for the sole purpose of generating cards, and lots of people buy these games for the same reason. Even if the dev isn't working hand in hand with level up services, they still make some money from the cards sold on Steam's marketplace. Established games like Barro have hundreds of cards sold each day, with the dev making around 1 cent per each sale. But even without card farmers refunding the game, there are still plenty of people who buy these games for their only other purpose, the achievements. Games like Barro are cheap and easy to finish, which makes them the perfect target for achievement farmers. In addition, these games often spam you with letter achievements, which can be used in your profile showcase to write fancy words. But what about the reviews being 85% positive? Well, Steam reviews nowadays consist more of trolls than genuine reviews. The top reviews are usually copy-pastas written by people who are chasing internet points. But even excluding trolls, as long as a game is bug-free, optimized, and isn't run by a greedy company, it's likely going to get positive reviews regardless of gameplay. Still, there are a notable amount of genuine reviews that say Barro is fun and entertaining. If you think this is fun, you either haven't played a racing game in your life or are under the age of 3. There are much better free and even open source options you could try out instead. Barro dev keeps adding useless DLCs and updates in an attempt to spam the search results and boost itself in Steam's algorithm. Combined with card farmers, this has resulted in over 200,000 total players, but nothing will change. Valve has done nothing about other, much bigger scams, as it is a win-win for all the parties involved. The developer makes money, Valve gets a cut, card farmers profit, and edgelords get to rise up their profile that no one gives a shit about. End of the video. A new Barro game will be out by the time this video is released. It's just another copy-paste and there's nothing to add really. Please don't try to contact any person mentioned in this video, as that would change absolutely nothing.